TitanZ here, back to do another video review. This time, going to be reviewing Transformers Robots in Disguise, Drift. Now, if you're wondering why I've got this big glow on my face, Drift's orange color and my poor background saturate the screen into orange. Like, when I get him close enough, you'll start seeing everything starting to turn orange, just like his color. So, yeah. I have to have this light on me to prevent this entire screen from having an orange tint to it. So yeah. This, of course, is the Warrior class. It's Deluxe, Hasbro. Just stick with Deluxe. Drift. Quite frankly, this is an awesome figure. One of my two favorite figures right now from Robots in Disguise. I wouldn't say they're Toys of the Year category. Well, at least if I was doing a top 10, this one and one other would probably pop up on there. But they're not cracking the top 5, unfortunately. So yeah, this is a cool figure. He's not quite like his Drift from the Generation 1 IDW comic books. But I still think he is really cool. This Drift happens to actually be a bounty hunter for the High Council of Cybertron, bringing criminals to justice, as he would say. He wants to see criminals rehabilitated rather than just throw them in jail. So he's kind of like Hank Pym from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but he's not against getting down and dirty and fighting the villains. So, hey, that's pretty cool. He's also got a very strict code of honor, much like a samurai. And his talking pattern, the way his speech pattern is, and kind of the accent that the actor Aaron Bruez, I'm totally butchering that name, his voice actor gives him sort of a, not a Japanese accent so much as a samurai's accent in the way he talks. For an example of this, go pull up the Transformers Prime dub, a Japanese dub, and listen to Wheeljack and the way he talks. He talks in a very samurai-esque way, and he has him talk in somewhat of a similar fashion. He's pretty cool. Yeah, he has a visible head syndrome here on the bottom, but because they managed to get it where his head is backwards, I don't count it against it too much. He can store his weapons down here, which is very nice. So, only my one nitpick about the figure, I think he, at least in car mode, he has translucent wheels. I can't get half of these Robots in Disguise Warrior class figures to have light piping in their heads, but I can get translucent wheels. Why, Hasbro? Why? Gotta transform him now. He definitely also has one of my favorite Transformers out of all the Warrior class figures. I think it is one of the best, and pulls off some of the engineering they want to use for cost cutting the best. Particularly in the legs. For anybody who's got the Deluxe class Bumblebee, and no, I'm not going to review that figure. I'm not. I'm sick of reviewing Bumblebees. Bumblebee has his entirety of his hood and windshields come down behind his legs, and it kind of becomes an issue for posing because of that. He does the same thing, but I think he does it a much better way. I think he gets it much closer to his legs. So yes, this is him in robot mode. I really do like him. Now, he's not exactly like the animation model, much like Strong Arm. Oh, and something I forgot to mention in Strong Arm's review, those big white Autobot symbols, and the one Warrior Decepticon I have has a Decepticon symbol like that. That's an RI code. Basically, you scan that for the mobile app, and you unlock the character for like X amount of time in the game. Boring. It's a boring game. I'm sorry. It just is. It's a boring game. Now, if that game was, say, like, on my PlayStation Vita, and use that camera function, I think that would be a little bit more fun. I realize more people have mobile devices than they do, like, Vitas or PlayStation 3s or PlayStation 4s with cameras attached. But I really am starting to get burnt out on mobile games. I really am. I think the only thing that I kind of just dislike design-wise is his shoulders. In the show, it's much more like samurai armor, that very layered bamboo armor that classic samurai kind of wear. But other than that, I think, again, one of the only other problems I probably have, and this is a universal problem across the entire line, that's because of budget, paint apps. This Drift has a mustache, and I guess a goatee that kind of splits down the middle. It's a weird goatee, but he has that. Doesn't have it on here, and I don't really have a small enough marker, or even a Gundam marker small enough to peck those out in black. Yeah, and again, light piping. He has plenty of room for light piping, and yet they don't do it. I realize that's a pretty small face to put light piping in, but come on, Hasbro. Keeps jipping us out. As you can see, he can store his weapons on the side. They're kind of big holes to store on the side. I don't know how well something else would have worked. But yeah, they store here. And this skirt armor also lifts up, that allows for better posability. So, that's cool. I think this figure is awesome. If you're looking for a figure to start your collection with, if you're wanting to get into Robots in Disguise, if you haven't gotten into it yet and you're still on the fence, this one and one other I might review tonight are definitely the ones you're going to consider. Because I think this is really showing what kind of engineering they're putting into these figures. And on a side note, it's probably the first time that I'll ever probably pick up Japanese figures from the Transformers Adventure series that they're doing in Japan. They're doing a repaint and slight remold of this figure and the Jazz figure in more their G1 colors, which I think is awesome, because it is literally the IRD G1 Drift's head with his rest of his body is just painted in his G1 IDW comic book colors. And I love this idea. I want that figure so bad, but it's not released till November, at least on Big Bad Toy Store. One of the few times where I'm going to order that, specifically because I just want this figure in that paint scheme. That will be awesome. And most likely I'll do a review of that figure just because. But yeah, this is a pretty cool figure. Now, the only thing I will say that I am concerned about is his minicons. He has 2 minicons in the show, Jetstorm and Slipstream. I don't see how they're going to fit on his wrists, because the minicons, they're not super big, but they're not ultra small like conventional minicons. And if they can fit on his wrist, I'll be impressed. Now, he is supposed to have another version of this figure released, where it's a Minicon disc launching Transformer. I don't know. I might only pick that up to get, I think, Jetstorm's in that package, and Slipstream's the one you can buy separately. But yeah, I don't know. I might review it, I might not. But still, this is a very awesome figure. I really enjoy this figure a lot. If you can find this, I highly recommend picking this up. If this is especially one of the first 2 figures you're picking up, this is definitely one of them you should go pick up. So until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.